So Lucy, someone comes to you who is new to instructional design and they want to know what area they should focus on. What do you think you would say to them based on what you find to be exciting 2024 in the fields of instructional design and ed tech?
It's a great question, Michael. I feel like what I should say is that I should say using generative AI.
Mhm.
And I will say that I think that's very useful. And
Mhm.
I think that there are some applications that are being particularly made for instructional design that probably everyone who's entering the field should take a look at, because it really can give you a fresh take on some things, give you a different perspective, and potentially automate some tasks. Just thinking about generating assessments, things. But I'd like to flip that a little bit and say that what I would say to anyone coming into the field is think about generative AI, but think about it as an opportunity to get to a reset button on assessment. So, we are seeing so many people who are working in the education field kind of exasperated, sad, angry, whole range of emotions about students using generative AI to take a shortcut to generate that essay or that discussion board post. And I understand that moment of feeling really angry about it, but I think what it's telling us is we need to do a better job of explaining why we're doing this assessment and what learning looks like. So explaining what learning looks like in a time when any student can generate the right answer means revisiting those learning goals, means kind of rethinking how you pace assessments, what type of assessments. So I would encourage anyone who's starting in the field to kind of take a fresh look at what what learning and assessment actually look like and good learning design looks like in a time when students do have ready access to generative AI for things that are maybe not as thoughtful or not as well explained. So even things like building out, explaining the learning process. One of my favorite articles I've read recently was in the Chronicle about how we need to start teaching our students how to be students again. And I think sometimes we overestimate how much students know about why we're doing things in exams or why we're pacing out assignments. So even peeling back a layer and incorporating into the design articulation of skills, explanation of process, what learning looks like, maybe pushing the person you're working with to begin to articulate some of that. So that's the flip side, I think, to AI is like, yes, you should explore AI. Everybody should be exploring how it could help us do our job better, but also use it as an opportunity to rethink assessment, particularly.
Right. I will let's post that article too in the
Absolutely. But Michael, what do you think you would say to a new instructional designer? I'd love to hear that.
Sure. Well, of course I would talk about what you just talked about. So that's definitely high up on the list. But for me, as always, I'm a very big lover of this idea of blended learning, and I would tell an up and coming designer to try to take it further, try to open up new frontiers in blended learning because I think that technology has really caught up to a lot of things that we could do for faculty in their classrooms. And I would stress to them the idea that, the proper sequencing of asynchronous and synchronous can be magical if it's done correctly. And if if you could work on being, say, nimble enough to be able to work with the faculty and take all the components, the faculty, the age of the students, the class size, the content, all of those things you could work into a proper blend of asynchronous and synchronous. That could be, you could make that course so much better and get it, you could create exactly what a teacher would want. I think that we still have room to do that. I think that we should be sort of looking at blended learning like these units of asynchronous and synchronous are sort of notes, and we have the freedom, the ability, the expertise, the passion to put them together in such a way that it makes the perfect class for a faculty member. I'll always think that's something that a designer should strive to do, and let your creativity come out. Be the kind of person who can create classes that no one else has created based on this idea that asynchronous and synchronous sequence together the right way makes magic. I don't know. I'd always be excited to talk to people about that.